What's up, y'all? This your girl Nick coming to you with a quick little video about some thoughts I have about the show Love Is Blind season number 2. So I'm all caught up, and this is my thoughts as a person who's divorced and experienced some things in life. Okay, first couple. Let's talk about Shane and Natalie. I'm gonna refer to them as Shayna or Shannon, but as a couple for Shannon now. So Shannon. Um, I feel like he was doing the honorable thing by still proposing to her, even though he had strong connection and feelings with Shayna, when they were in the pods. But I feel like he did the honorable thing and proposed to Natalie because he found out Shayna told him that Natalie was telling everybody, that they're in love and all that. So since he knew that Natalie was professing her love for him and stuff like that, her interest in him to the other women, he felt like she was more outward with her feelings, and he trusted in that. Whereas him and Shayna, I felt like they had more of a sexual chemistry with the things that they were saying to one another and stuff like that. So anyway, fast forward to where we are now. I think it's nine episodes in. Um, them meeting each other's parents and picking out things for their wedding. I will say Shane is the big goofy frat guy, but to me seems like he does have a good heart, but he has some flaws too. And I saw that with him needing to be complimented a lot. And I've noticed that he can't really deal with Natalie's sarcasm. Also, she's very neurotic and very anal about things. And I'm not sure if her type A and his goof and aloofness, in a sense, is going to be a good match. Sometimes opposites attract, but I'm not sure they're going to make it. I'm not sure that, I mean, even if they say I do to each other at the altar, I'm not sure if the relationship or the marriage is going to last. Um, Also, I did notice when they had the guys' night, like the bachelor night, how angry he was at being embarrassed that he didn't hit any of the balls at the baseball field. Like, sir, like, relax. It wasn't that deep. Like, relax. Okay? Next couple I want to talk about is Shayna chose. Look, they weren't even showing enough for me to even remember the name of the guy. I think it might have been Chris. I think. But Shayna, who was one of the girls that was feeling Shane from the previous couple I was talking about, she she waited too late to let her feelings be known to Shane, and he went on and chose Natalie. So what did she do to stay on the show longer? She said yes to Chris's proposal, knowing daggone well she really wasn't feeling him, that she really just wanted Shane. And I'm guessing she probably looked at season 1 before she went on the show and was like, well, at some point we'll all meet up and I'll get to see what Shane really looks like and try to catch a vibe there. And she ended up leaving when they got to Mexico. She didn't want to stay in the same room with him, with Chris, the guy she said yes to. And she also left. And then they met back up when they got back to Chicago, which is the city that they were all living in or all from. Um, Even when Chris met her family, I still knew that she wasn't gonna do it. She tried to make it seem as though if her mom is on board, that she's on board, whatever. But they just it wasn't just the religion thing. To me, I think she just was not attracted. When she saw Chris, she just wasn't attracted. And she really, really, really wanted Shane. And we found out when they had like a meetup with all the couples, They had like a little picnic. So yeah, all the couples had like a little picnic in the park, and they invited some of the people who didn't get engaged on the show to join them. And Shayna was one of the ones who actually came to the picnic. And I felt like she came because, like I said, she wants to see what shame looks like in real life. So, anyway, we hear from Natalie that at some point, Shayna called her on the phone and told her, you know, if things don't work out between you and Shane, I have somebody for you, a guy for you, or whatever. And that was nothing but her trying to throw salt in the game and trying to be divisive. Because if, and to me, saying that to Natalie was trying to make trying to take Natalie's guard down and make her feel like, yeah, because we good girlfriends. But no, we not good girlfriends, bitch. You want my man. That's what it is. You want a chance with Shane for yourself. And you figure, let me throw that out there and see if she'll take the bait. That way, I can get my chance with Shane in real life outside of the show. So anyway, Natalie lets us know that. And at some point, Shayna and Shane go off to the side to have a conversation. They show Natalie looking like skeptical, like what's up with that or whatever. Um, they talk, and I wasn't sure how this conversation was gonna go, but I really liked the way that Shane basically put Shayna in her place. Like, why would you even call her and tell Natalie that you have somebody else for her if things don't work out with us between her and I? And she tried to play it off like it was a joke. She didn't know Natalie would take it that serious. And I'm thinking to myself, girl, no. You was throwing out a little bit of bait to see if Natalie would bite. And that could be your way into getting your chance with Shane. And it didn't work. And Shane saw right through her. And the show goes on to show that she breaks up with Chris. Chris keep talking about how he want to fight for it and all those things like that, but how you gonna fight for something where the person just not giving you anything to work with? Like, what are you really fighting for? I do think that people can be married and have successful relationships and have two different outlooks on religion. I mean, I have it in my own family. I have an aunt who's American born and she is Christian, and her husband, who's Nigerian born and raised, and he was raised Christian for part of his life, and then the last part he was raised Muslim, and he chose to stick with um Islam as a religion. So, and they made it work. They've been married what 18, 19 years at this point, 19 years I would say. So it can work, but I think when it's a person who's a devout, whatever the religion is, and you have one person who's an atheist, I'm not sure those are going to mesh together well, especially when the person claims they're devout and like, you know, their God is the head of their life and they do everything, like they go to church all the time and, you know, they make God the most important thing in their life or whatever. And then you have somebody that's an atheist. I don't think those two ideologies are ever going to mesh well. And so I feel like Chris should have just let it go when she didn't even want to stay in the room with him when they got to Mexico. But whatever. I don't know if he was doing it to try to make it work, to stay on the show or whatever. I don't know what the reasoning was, but um, it didn't work. She broke up with him, whatever, and that was that. So now let's fast forward to um Next couple I want to talk about is Nick and Danielle. Let's call them Danik. So anyway, Danielle, she has so many insecurities that she still needs to work on. She has a guard up. She is a lot. And I really see how, uh, through her, I see how a person can live in their head, in a sense, and try to forge ahead with something that they feel like, because I need, to me, she gives me, I really, really want this to work. She already said that she was overweight and she lost a lot of weight or whatever. So she gives me the impression that she didn't date around a lot. So she had some insecurities about her weight and stuff that held her back from dating. And the fact that you got somebody that proposed to you and is showing you that they want to make it work, she feels like I gotta try to hold on to this, even though it's like she's like a ball of confusion because she's trying to hold on, yet she's also doing things to push him away. And I feel like because that's what she's used to doing, used to saying things and making up things in her mind, and after a while that can get on somebody's nerves. And I'm really feeling like she kept picking different fights with him and putting words in his mouth and stuff like that. And it's like, girl, what are you doing? I really feel like she's pushing him away. And now, with episode 9, ending with them two being at the altar and her choosing him, I'm really thinking that he's not going to choose her. I'm really thinking that he's going to say no and not marry her. That's what I'm really thinking. She needs therapy. She needs life coaching and she really needs therapy. Because I think when she look in the mirror, she still sees herself as the insecure, overweight person that she used to be, and she's not that person anymore. Um, I really, really like. She has some issues that she need to work on. I don't think that she should have even went on this show to try to find love, because she's projecting a lot, and like she's projecting, and she's putting words in his mouth and turning what he says into what she believes that she heard him say, and it's not what he actually said. Um, so that's it for them. Um, the next couple I want to speak on is Salvador Mallory, and we're going to call them Sal Mal or Mal Sal. Them two. So Mallory, Salvador, I think Mallory was his top pick, but I don't think, it's hard to say because of the way it was filmed and it was put edited and stuff. Mallory also had a deeper connection with the guy Jared, and I really think Salvador seemed sweet to her, but when Salvador proposed to her, she accepted it, but she told Jared that she wouldn't accept his proposal. I'm not sure why she wouldn't accept Jared's proposal, but she didn't. And she had like a real bad breakdown after the fact or whatever. And maybe it was because her and Ayanna had more of a connection as a friendship, um, that we didn't get to see. Um, and and they were both into Jared. And maybe she like in her mind, well, I know that Jared and Salvador is into me, but I'm gonna go ahead with um Salvador. Maybe she thought that Salvador was the safer option, and plus she wanted, like, I think that her and Iona had like a developed like a bond or a friendship or kinship while they were in the pods together, and she just didn't want to be the reason that Ayana didn't have, end up getting proposed to or have anybody. That's what I think. So I think she went with her feelings for Salvador. And then when she saw him in person when they first met, I'm not sure if she felt all the way attracted or whatever. But they end up meeting up and, everything is good between them, I guess I would say. And they meet each other's family. She meets his sisters and he meets a mother like figure to her or whatever. I don't think he actually met her mother. He met the lady that she considers like a mother figure to her. So then they start to have some issues because whomever he was dating before he went on to the show to film the show, he says that he told this person that he had signed up for the show and he didn't want to have anything serious because he still wanted to take his chances with the show and get on the show and everything like that. Maybe he was using the show as a way to get discovered because he's a singer and a musician, you know. And if you can find love in the process, that would be good too. So the show was some exposure for him. So that's why he didn't, as he said, to me, this is what I'm thinking. He didn't commit to the person that he was seeing beforehand. And but it has to be more to it because just like Mallory was upset about this because the person, his ex, well, he said he can't even call her ex because they never defined their relationship. It was basically they were just kicking it. Um, he was, they were seeing each other, but it wasn't an exclusive thing, and they didn't have a title. But this person was important enough that they met his sisters and knew where the sisters lived or where one of the sisters lived because they went to the sister's house and cried on the sister's shoulders about Salvador and the fact that he wouldn't commit or whatever, excuse me, and went on the show. So Mallory had an issue with that, and she wanted to know if that was is that something he really wanted to pursue, you know, after he've already been on the show and met her. Is that something? He said no. And she let him know, okay, she accepted, but if something else should come up, she's not going to be accepting, and basically it's going to be over from there if something else comes up. I think that Salvador really might be into her, um, but I'm not sure. She says she loves him and she loves all the cute little romantic things that he does for her, stuff like that. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they even gonna make it down the aisle. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I'm really not. I'm really, really not. I'd be surprised if they, because he's such a sweetheart, and she seems to be very accepting of his genuineness. But I think she still got might be a little bit left in her that might be still thinking like, what if I would have told Jared um that I might say yes to him if he asked me, um. I'm I'm really not sure if them two, if Sal Mail is going to be saying I do to each other. I'm not sure. Then we have, what's another couple? Oh, Deepti and Shakes. We're going to call them Deep Shakes. Or we're going to call them the Shakes. So the Shakes, they were so odd because they were the two brown people that they showed on the show. The two brown people who only dated white people in their former, in life before the pods and before the show. Both of them only dated white people. He dated white women, she dated white men. And for them to find some commonality and really get into each other and her to say I do, I think she's really giving it a chance. And I think she's really into shape. But I think Shake's only. I think Shake. He's trying to convince himself that he's attracted to her, but he's not. Um, he even compared her or what he feels for her to that or what he feels for an aunt or something like that. And that's not a good place to start because even though like he said that he don't want to lose her because he liked her personality, she's encouraging, she's such a sweetheart. But he he's not physically attracted to her. And he keep doing different things to try to convince himself to be. And I think that she's looking at things through her parents, the lens of her parents' marriage, that they had arranged marriage and they made it work. So, in a sense, this is different from an arranged marriage, but she feeling like if they can make it work and they were arranged and they weren't together, they knew each other a week before their wedding, then I can make this work with Shakes. But you can't make something work with somebody who's, to me, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And I really feel like he's really trying to convince himself, and I feel as though it's selfish of him because he's, doing the moving in, letting her pick out a dress, and all those things, knowing that he's not physically attracted to her. What kind of real marriage is sense of intimacy are you gonna have when the person is not sexually attracted to you? You can't live like that. And I know he's seen it. He maybe has seen it because I'm not sure if he mentioned it, but I think his parents had an arranged marriage as well. So yeah, that's not gonna work for the long haul, for the long run. So my guess is he's really gonna hurt Deepti's feelings, and I'm thinking he is going to say yes to the wedding and say yes at the altar and everything, and the marriage is not gonna last. That's what I think is gonna happen with them. Because he talked about how she his best friend and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you do need to be friends with a person you plan to spend your life with. You do ultimately need to be friends because at some point, the sexual stuff it's not gonna be like it was when you were younger, okay? People's looks are gonna change. People are gonna change, period, in all aspects. So, things are gonna change and you're gonna have to have a connection to them outside of the sexual. You're going to have to be friends and choose to continue to love and be devoted to this one person. Okay? Now, for my favorite couple. But I'm so nervous. My favorite couple right now is Jared and Ayanna. And let's call them Shayana. Jared was really, 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 really into he kept saying one day he would be more in love with Mallory than he would be with Ayanna, and then the next day it would be Ayanna over Mallory. But the first one that we saw that he brought marriage up to was Mallory. Mallory turned him down, so then he went to Ayanna. I'm gonna be honest, Ayanna's really my favorite person in this cast, but I really feel like when Jared proposed to her, I wanted her to say no because the same reason she said, I'm not your second, I'm nobody's second best, you know. And he said he proposed to her, but I will say, once he proposed to her, they got out of the pause, they went to Mexico. He was pretty good, even when he saw Mallory in real life and tried to throw shade at the ring that Sal bought Mallory by saying like that's not what you were told me that you wanted in the ring and all that kind of stuff. And Mallory went back, told Sal what he said. Um, I think when he said that, he kind of was like throwing it out there to kind of get a feel for where Mallory was at and see if she was, excuse me, truly happy with Sal. And once she said she was, he dropped it and he kept doing what he needed to do. Put his all in Ayanna. I really feel like they're gonna get down the aisle. Cause like the previews make you nervous. Cause after the first four episodes, we saw where Ayanna was getting in the car with her dress, and they made it seem as though she was running away from the wedding and wasn't gonna meet Jared at the end of the aisle. So I'm not sure, but to me, they are the little tugboat that could. Cause I really want it for them. I feel like they could be a good match. And he seems to be making compromises and concessions like when he was talking to his friends like she's in school, she doesn't want to have a kid right now. So I know I would be the provider and I'm okay with that. Like, he's thinking about making, concessions, to help her build her life the way that she sees fit. And he's showing her because she says she likes to see action. So he's showing her, but she still got in the back of her mind. I was second choice. So I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna go. I see him saying yes. I see her toiling with it and might possibly saying no because she's scared. I really do. And not just scared, but because she still in the back of her mind feels like um she was the second option. So I can see her saying no, but them after a while, behind the scenes, working on their relationship. Because I could see it being a good relationship. I really could. And lasting. But I can see them needing more time to learn one another and him, um, working on showing her, that I really, really wanted. Yes, it seems like you were second choice, but I really want to be with you. That's how I see it. That's how I see the show going. Y'all tell me what you think. Who do you think will actually say I do, and who will not? Now let me try to think. Did I mention all of the couples? Chris and Shayna, they broke up. She ain't want him. I said Sam and Mel. I said um, I talked about Nat and Shane. I talked about Danielle and Nick, and then Jared and Ayan. Yeah, that was it. So this is your girl Nick with another video. Um, I like doing reviews and talk about shows that I'm looking at, and I'm hoping that this show will be something that you guys will be interested in discussing. Um, I noticed that my reviews on TV shows don't get that many views. Things that get views on this channel is try on hauls, but there's got to be more to YouTube than y'all just liking to see people try on clothes all the time. So if you clicked on this video and you made it to this part, I want to say thank you for, listening to me ramble on about a TV show that I'm watching. Um, Remember to click the like button if you haven't, and click the subscribe button if you haven't as well. And I'll see you guys in whatever I come up with